Hello everyone, and I guess we are live now. Yay! Okay, welcome everyone. This is me, Baisla, and today's discussion that we're gonna do is gonna be around startups and fundraising. Just the lights a little bit. Yeah, I hope it should be good now. All right. So you can watch me on Facebook, you can watch me on LinkedIn, and I'm live on my YouTube channel also. So wherever you are watching from, okay, my AC is turning everything into cold. So wherever you are watching me from, hello to you, and write in the comments. We have this ritual whenever we go live, we talk to each other. This is very important. You tell me where are you watching me from and what is it that you do. Okay, today this is something that we're talking is interesting and exciting. And see, the topic might say that it is a fundraising for startups, but basically what I'm talking about is a business. And a business can be a small scale business, it can be a large scale business, it can be a startup. You can call it startup if you want to. But funding, money is the bloodline of every business. Money is something that runs a business and it's extremely critical and important. How do you raise money for the business and at whatever stage? And basically, there are 7 questions that I have that I'm going to discuss with you today. And those are the questions that I have tried to answer in my own career, in my own startup journey. I have been able to raise some amount of money, and I faced challenges, of course, like everybody else. But that's where the learning is, right? And there's a very wise saying that somebody said that you don't have to burn your fingers to know that fire is hot. You can be smart and you can ask somebody who's already burned their fingers, right? Now, unfortunately, in my career, when I started, I come from a village and I was born to parents who did not have any education. So, none of the relatives around me had any idea. Like, I was the first person who did 10 standards in my life. And that was a kind of challenging journey because everything I had to figure out on my own. And the school that I had my initial education was a Hindi medium school, and we would sit on the mat, the floor. And when I came to Delhi in 2000, no, not 1998, after completing my 10th standard, that was the time I went into the school, which is now another Sarkari school, a government school, but the medium of instruction was English, and I had no idea what to happen. So the journey went on, and from that part of my life to actually going on and building businesses with Americans, with Europeans. In fact, I have been able to train 100,000 people in my career, and then worked for 8 9 years in various companies, and then shifted to entrepreneurship. It's been almost 13 years that I've been an entrepreneur. I've been able to learn a lot of things, and this discussion that I'm going to have today is going to be quick. It's going to be practical, and I'll try to make it as useful as possible. But you have to let me know in the comments that the questions that you have, the kind of business that you're working, and then this will be more of an interactive session. All right. So while you're doing it, well, welcome everybody who's just joined in. This is me, Sam Baisla, entrepreneur investor, and I love marketing, I love sales, I love startups, I love technology, and I'm building this new channel. The channel is slightly older, but I'm now creating some content on YouTube. So I request, I suggest, I invite you to first hit the subscribe button on a YouTube channel. I would love that. Look, I love those numbers going up from 200, 300, 400, now 630 approximately. So everybody, go on YouTube, find Sam Baisla Official. Please subscribe the channel because I'm creating a lot of videos for you. And there's a lot of training programs that I'm recording right now, and I'll be publishing them one by one. So if you want all the free training programs, you want to learn from everything that I've done in my life, and you don't want to waste your time and energy, that is the place that you should be. Hit the subscribe button on YouTube and let me know the comments in the comment section. Right? Any questions that you have. Okay, as we start now, just wanting to make sure once again, is my voice is fine and my audio and video is going fine. Okay. Why can't I see comments here? This is so strange. Should be seeing all the comments. All right. I don't know. There is some issue. Anyway, the first question, the first and most important question that you should be asking, and if you're not, please go ahead and ask this question to yourself. Should you be raising funding at all? I mean, let's understand the whole idea of fundraise. Look, eventually, a business is something which sells a product or a service and generates money, right? It creates wealth for you, it creates wealth for your employees, your partners, and of course, for the investors and everybody else. But the whole idea of running a business is to generate profit and create wealth for the people that are involved in it. Now, if you have to take money from somebody, eventually you have to give a piece of the business. And this is your wealth. And if you believe in the wealth and it can grow 10x, 5x, basically you're selling a part of your business. Now, in a way, it's a good thing that you're able to sell a part of a business because it is a kind of validation from the market that people see value in your business. That's why they're buying. But you will be able to and you will be giving a piece of the business, which is not a good advice. There is another problem in fundraising that we miss that. Look, the kind of person that comes in, and if they're putting the money, they will be involved in the decision making process of your business. And that would mean that you are no longer the completely free doing it on your own kind of person. I mean, I'm a kind of person who does startups because, or I went into the business because I love the freedom. I never could stand a chance of working for somebody and that somebody is dictating my future. I love to wake up when I want to wake up. I love to do the thing that I want to do. I love to execute my ideas and I love to fail in the process. So that freedom for me is extremely important. And when you have a investor on board, that person will be getting into the decision making and they will be asking you a lot of questions. So kind of not only you are giving a piece of your business, you're also giving a piece of your freedom away. And that would be a kind of situation which is not very healthy. So if you're a kind of person or a founder who prioritizes freedom and independence above everything else, avoid fundraising as much as possible, right? And it does not matter how much money. The moment somebody gives you money, you are morally, ethically, professionally, legally obligated to answer to that person. All right. So that is my just 2 cents around when you think of raising funds. So if these are the things that you have to compromise, then what are the reasons you should be raising funds, right? That's another very important part. So you should be raising funds if there is no other way that your product can go to the market, right? There are products which need to attain a certain kind of scale, or there are products which need certain kind of technology or engineering or a lot of work before they can actually become a kind of product which goes to the market and people will start using them. And that's a lot of investment upfront and that's a lot of journey upfront. So if that is the kind of situation you are in, if that's a kind of product or service or a startup that you're trying to build, then definitely it makes a lot of sense for you to raise funds. Uh, then there are situations wherein you have built a product on your own and now is the situation wherein you want to go for scale and the business will not grow fast enough or the competition will come and kill you if you do not scale fast enough, right? And that is the time wherein you definitely should be looking to raise funds. So there are a lot of if and but in this whole thing, but I kind of gave you two different words views at the moment that whether you should be raising funds or not, and if you do decide to raise funds, you kind of understand that when to raise funds, right? But the answer basically has to come from you as a founder. Now, I hate something which a lot of media today goes and uh, propagate as a sign of success. Somebody raised funding is now seen as that person has made it. Now that definitely is not. Remember, when you raise funding and that money is basically you have to pay back, right, in the form of equity, in the form of promised returns on equity, or if it's a debt funding, you have to take that as a liability and it is there in your balance sheet and you have to pay it back. Now, so back in the old days, I come from a village. In our village, whenever you take money from somebody, the borrowing was not seen very, very positively, right? All your relatives, your mom and dad would be like, "Oh, you're doing so bad in your life that you have to take money from somebody." But now, all of a sudden, taking money from the world is now kind of celebrated as a sign of success. And there is a high, a lot of businesses, I mean, let's take Baiju's for example. The valuation went to $22.5 billion dollars, and it's less than $1 billion now. So this is a high. Oyo, Paytm, and you talk about everything. Now, in the process, you might be arguing at some point of time that look, but the founders made their money. Yeah, if that's the kind of money that you want to make, probably that's the route for you. And I think they also got lucky. The market was different back then. The lockdown, COVID happened, and kind of gave a push. And investors are also, in a lot of cases, follow herd mentality. They run after a particular sector and industry, and they run are they are run by FOMO, fear of missing out, in a lot of cases. But what my point here is that I personally have a worldview wherein you should avoid raising funds as much as possible. And that allows you to be in control, build the business at your own pace, retain your freedom, and yeah, run the way you want to run, solve the problems that you want to solve. Not every race is supposed to be run by you. You choose your races to run. And that's the kind of person that I am. I do startups or business for fun, for the freedom that I have. And if it doesn't make me $1 billion, it's absolutely all right. I'm happy with the kind of money that I make, and that's good enough for me. So it's a kind of priority shift that you as a founder or as a company owner have to decide. All right. So that's my 2 cents or suggestion on the question number one, which is should you be raising funding or not? Okay. Now, coming back to the questions that a lot of people are asking in the comments already. So I welcome all of you once again, guys. This is me, Sam Baisla. I'm an entrepreneur and investor. I work with startups. I help them go to markets, scale, fundraise, and I operate in a lot of international areas. So I welcome, and I now am trying to do a lot of content, a lot of sessions, and sharing my experiences and learnings with all of you and help as many people as possible. This is a session part of the series that I'm going to do, and today we are talking about fundraising for startups and businesses. I'm live on Facebook, Instagram, not on Instagram, I'm live on Facebook, YouTube, and LinkedIn. I appreciate if you can make comments in the section so that I can see the comments and get back to you and answer those questions. And I would also really, really appreciate if you can go on my YouTube channel and hit the subscribe button. I really appreciate that. There's a lot of value that I'm creating, a lot of content, and a lot of free courses that I'm launching, and you would love all of those questions. All right, coming back to the questions that people are asking me, I see a lot of questions on LinkedIn already. Okay, Dr. Shekhar Pawar is saying my solution has 400 million SME. Okay, I'm going to put the questions onto my screen. So if you want your question to be featured on the screen, just let the comments ring in, and I'll pull up your question here, and I will address that question. So Dr. Shekhar Pawar said my solution has 400 million SMEs as market. I will target 5 million SMEs in 5 years. Okay, my understanding of this is that you're trying to say that you would target 5 million SMEs for like fundraising or helping them in fundraising or something. I didn't understand the question, to be very precise. There's a question by Munna saying on YouTube says, do you want to say that investors don't align with founders' vision and thinking? Mostly, yes, they do not. And why I say that, because you wanting to solve a problem, and you are driven by that problem, and you are passionate about it. That's why you're doing entrepreneurship. Or maybe you love your freedom, or maybe you want the whole hustle of it. There is adrenaline in it, right? But the investor's sole purpose is to double, triple, quadruple their money. They are not passionate about the problem you're solving. They don't care about that, and they really don't care about your freedom or your happiness or whatever the things that are important for you. All they are looking for is that I'm giving you $1 million tell me if you can give me 10 million, 50 million, 100 million. That's the kind of thing that your investors have. So no, the investors don't align with your vision and your thinking, right? Obviously they will not say all of that, right? And nobody is going to put in the money and say, you know what, I don't believe in a vision and I don't care about your vision, just I'm caring about the money, I'm giving you the check and give me my money back, and that's the only thing that I care about. They will not say that, but that's what the reality is. All right, that is what the reality is. We've seen things wherein founders have been kicked out of their companies. We've seen things wherein founders end up working for the investors because they ended up diluting a lot of equity in the early stages, and they ended up giving too much control to the investors outside. Okay, so that's what I think. Dr. Shekhar Pawar has another question. 90% of companies are SMEs, which is 400 million. Yeah, I know that, but what's the point, Dr. Pawar? I understand that there are many SMEs that are operating, and there's a huge market, small and medium enterprises. There is, availability today that people can actually go and do an IPO. SME IPO is quite easy nowadays, so you can do that. There is also a way of raising funds, but I don't understand the question. All right, coming back to our question number two, which is when should you raise? Right? That's the question. When should you raise? Now, when you should raise is a question which I kind of answered earlier, but I'll quickly wrap it up once again. If your product will require a lot of upfront investment, if the product development will require a lot of R&D, upfront investment, you have to hire team and people, and probably buy stuff, then definitely don't jump into the startup before you have secured funding, right? And that's a precursor to that. The second time you should be considering when you should be raising funding is when you've achieved a product market fit in your own understanding, and I'll talk about that in the next question. And now you are willing to go for scale, right? That's the second reason you should be raising funds. And the third reason you should be facing raising funds is when you have a market which will be determined by whoever is the fastest to capture the majority share of the market, right? The first mover advantage. If you have 3-4 companies or similar kind of, and everybody's trying to capture the market, and it would make sense for you if you become the big daddy in the whole thing, and the only way is by raise a bunch of capital and then go advertisement and marketing and sales and acquire a lot of customers, then you would be able to think that okay, I have now the customers and I can now have a long customer lifetime value money will be made on that. These are the three situations where you should be thinking to raise funds. Now, what kind of funding you should be raising? It absolutely depends. My personal favorites are debt funding. Why? Because if you believe in the product that you're selling, then debt funding is good. But in the early stages, debt funding is not good because you don't even know that your product is going to deliver the profits and sell, or it's a kind of risky thing. And if you take a lot of debt funding, it will be most probably on your personal head. And if the startup turns south side, it doesn't go well, then you will be in a lot of trouble. Okay. So what is the process of fundraising? What is the fund readiness that we say? And this is the question that investors are also looking for. When you go and approach them for fundraising, they also see that, okay, are you fund ready or not? And therefore, it makes a lot of sense for you and also as a founder to ask this question to yourself: am I fund ready? Right? I want to raise fund. I need to raise fund. This is the right time. But am I ready for those discussions, for those negotiations, and what is the preparation that I have to do? So first, a very important question you should be asking yourself is how much money are you willing to raise, and what is the use of that money? Because that justifies two questions. A, it justifies to the investors that you know where this money is going to go, and it makes a lot of sense for you to raise it. Also, it tells you whether you need that much money or not. Remember, when you raise fund, you will be diluting in equity, and too much dilution of equity in the early stages is going to be very dangerous for you. Also, if you need a lot of money or you need a small money, the kind of person that you would be going after will change, right? And when to find investors, where to find them, what kind of negotiation they have. This question, the answer to this question, basically depends on how much money are you looking for, right? So, how much money are you looking for? Where do you want to use that money? This question is very, very important. Ask this question to yourself, write it down, sit it with your team, and try to deliberate that is it absolutely necessary that we put this money this, there, and is it the money that we need right now? This second question that you have to ask yourself is when do you need that money? Now, you may be saying, fine, I want to raise, let's say, $1 million. And my question to you would be, would you need the entire $1 million now? Or we can go in a situation wherein you say, let's say, probably 100,000 now, and then another 100,000 in another 3 months, or the another half a million probably 6 months from then. So the 1 million requirement, yes, you need that, but you need the entire money over a period of, let's say, 1 year or 18 months. Okay, so that is the understanding that you should be having, because it makes easier for the investors also to kind of attach the investment with you in milestones. So, and that's a kind of positive pressure that all founders should have. When you know that, okay, I have signed a term sheet with investor, and now I know that this money is given to me, but if the next tranche is going to come, it's going to come if we meet those milestones that we promise. And these milestones don't need to be revenue milestones, please understand. They can be, and most probably in the early stages, will be purely product revolving milestones. Meaning, were you able to ship the MVP, the minimum viable product? The another question can be, did you acquire your first cohort of, let's say, 500 customers? And the third one could be that, okay, what is it that these customers or users on your platform or your product are doing? Is there improvement in their behavior? Are they coming back again and again? Are they spending more time on your platform? Are they, and in a very different kind of situation, I should say, are there repeat purchase orders, or are these guys reviewing you better? Are these guys going and talking to their friends? Are you building a wait list, something, some progress milestones that have to be decided internally between you and your teams, which shows that you are making progress on the product side of it, right? And we call that the proof of progress. Okay, the proof of progress basically means that you are doing something and these things are moving you forward towards the success of the business. So these are a few questions that you should be asking yourself, which will evaluate if you're fund ready or not. All right, and that's where the business plan comes into the picture. Now, every investor wants you to have a business plan. It should be a short to medium to long term plan, and I'm talking about annual 3 year, 5 year plan. Now, this is kind of stupid in a lot of ways because a lot changes in 3 to 5 years, right? Nobody has any idea how the world is going to look like in 5 years from now. Yet, this exercise is extremely important because when you focus yourself to think strategically, you are able to weed out the unnecessary noise that will be basically destroying your startup, right? It forces you to narrow down on your customer, your market, and it forces you to narrow down on the features that you're going to give to your customer, the reason people will be buying your product or service. Now, that exercise is important. Okay, there are tools that people use, and my favorite is OKR, Objectives and Key Results. And this tool has been used by Intel, Google, large companies of the world, and it's fantastic. You can do a little bit Google study. Maybe there's a book which is being written by the one who's worked with these companies on the OKR. It's Measure What Matters. Yeah, that's the name of the book. Also, I'm running a program simultaneously wherein I work with startups and I mentor them on how they can fine tune their business at the moment on the product side of it, or on the sales side of it, or on the go to market side of it. And the go-to-market journey of your business eventually is your funding readiness. This is what fund readiness means. If there are proofs of progress, if you can present those proofs of progress in front of the investors, well, half of the battle is already done, right? So you can join me on there. There are groups that I'm running. Uh, we are building this Nexel community, so you can join also, and you can be part of those programs with me. Coming to the third question, well, the fourth question now. Okay, uh, how to become fund ready, right? That's important. And I want to take a little pause before I get into this because I want to check if there are questions that people are asking or expecting me to address, and I'm not able to see because I'm not able to see the questions here of a lot of questions. So I'm just going to pull up some of the comments that people are asking, show it on my screen, and let's see if you can grow. Oh, it's a big question. Dr. Six, I'm looking for investment for my new cybersecurity innovation as a venture providing tailored cybersecurity framework for small and medium enterprises, a SaaS platform. This new venture is in USA. There are 400 million SMEs worldwide. I'm getting good response from VC investors from very soon. Okay, long message. Dr. Pawar, I would love to work with you and help you navigating this journey. My heart lies with SMEs. They are very important to the society and the economy, and they need the digital transformation. They need to adopt technology, and if they don't do it, they're most probably going to die, and that will be a sad thing to have. So let me know in the comment section. No, not in the comment section. Send me a DM, and I would be very, very happy to talk to you and discuss with you what can I do to help you take off this idea from the ground and reach out to the world that it should reach. There is another comment somebody has made. Sam, if an idea has a solid business model, generates revenue, and prioritizes sustainability, would investors be interested in investing it nowadays? Absolutely, yes, Dheeraj. In this idea, if the idea has a solid business model and is generating revenue and is prioritizing sustainability, that's an absolutely good recipe. The only caveat is that it should be investors' opinion, right? If you believe it has solid business plan and it's going to generate a lot of revenue, it prioritizes sustainability, and that's why this is going to be good. You see, the problem with every entrepreneur and founder is that they all think they are great about it, and I jokingly talk about this that entrepreneurship is like sex. Everybody thinks they're great at it, but almost everybody sucks at it, right? They are not good at it. So yeah, if investors are also thinking that you're great, fantastic, good for you. Go ahead. They will be very happy to put in the money in you. Okay, I'm gonna go on and check some of the comments and see if something. Guys, I would love if you can keep on commenting on YouTube and Facebook and LinkedIn. I love that. Okay, and this would be, of course, encouraging for me. Okay, okay, just give me a moment. I should be able to check all of that. Okay, so let's take a 1 minute pause here, and I'm expecting you to leave comments in the comment section, and I would love I would love to address that. And also tell me, where are you watching me from? It's always fun to know the people are watching from different countries. Okay, all right. I needed to share this to a lot of groups where people were asking and kind of forgot it because my team is not part of those groups and I couldn't share in those groups, and that's just not all right. So just give me a moment. I want to share the link with the people that I said I will share. Otherwise, they'll miss out the entire live discussion. Okay. Yeah. And hey, by the way, how many of you are actually in this stage of fundraising? Right? If you're watching me now, just send me a comment and tell me if you are in a stage wherein you are raising funds, and I would love to talk to you, take you to my network of investors. That would be a great thing, right? I would be happy to help. Get on a call with you and see if we can work together on something. All right. And I think I'll be done. Yeah. Patience, patience, my friends, patience. I have seen for some time that there are a lot of problem with the attention span now. I am constantly under pressure that if I delay a little bit, if I am not fast, and if I'm not doing some tantrums, the audience will just go away, and in a lot of cases they do. But that is a behavior which is dangerous also for you, don't you think? Because if you don't have patience to really go down in the details of certain things, that actually is dangerous, because then you're judging the book by its cover, and it never works out well. There's a book here, by the way, and I created a video on that also. This is, has anybody read it? I'm sure. This is called Hard Thing About Hard Things. Okay, I don't know. Yeah, The Hard Thing About Hard Things. It's by Ben Horowitz. He's a investor entrepreneur from America, and this book is extremely powerful. But the first learning in this book that is shared is, it talks about the fact that how Ben, almost judged somebody from the first look of the guy, and but then at the very last moment decided not to follow that judgment mind, and decided to give it a little bit more time, understand, and that person ended up becoming the best a friend of Ben, and even today, for almost like 40 years, they are still together and doing great work and great businesses together. And that's amazing, because in my personal experience also, I have seen this whole thing that we're under constant pressure of judging, and this is also propagated by the society, wherein they say, first impressions last. Well, they do, but they should not, right? And first impressions matter. Well, they do, but they should not, because first impressions are often wrong, and they are not the right impressions. So if you're kind of person who's trying to uh, do some good business, or trying to build some really nice stuff, it's a kind of not right thing for you. God damn it! My Facebook live had a privacy of only me. How strange is that, right? And I was wondering why it's not going to people, and why people are not asking questions. Now they should be able to ask questions, because I've just changed the privacy. See, that is why it is important, people. Okay, let me just check LinkedIn also, and then I'll be back. We'll be moving on with the fifth and sixth question, which is, by the way, the type of funding that is available, and the decision from who you should be raising funding, how much, and in what form. I'm going to give you my advice and suggestion. Also, I'm going to talk about where do you find these investors. How do they look like, and what is it to go in details with them and go into negotiations with them. Those are the questions that I'm just going to talk. All right, so LinkedIn looks fine. Yeah. Okay, there are a lot of questions on LinkedIn. It's just that I'm not able to take those questions. I'm not able to see those questions. All right, anyways, I should be back now. The voice should be back. Okay. Please confirm if you can hear me. You should be able to hear me. All right. So I was talking about understanding the VCs and how they operate, and then deciding whether you need their money or not. Now, venture capital works very, very differently. Venture capital firms go out to people, wealthy individuals, and they take money from them, and then their job is to basically deploy that money into startups and make sure that they create as much money as fast as possible. All right, and statistically, they know that startups are high risk, high potential kind of category of investment, and whatever money that they're deploying, approximately 70% of the startups make no money at all. Okay, that's the point. The another 10, 15, 20% make average kind of money, and less than 5% startups make 100 plus x money for them. So what they have to do is they have to make sure that those 2 3 companies that are creating 100 or 1000x return for them have to compensate for every losses that they have done, right? Because remember, in the next 3 years, 5 years time, they have to take an exit and they have to return the money back to the investors. So the investors, for the VCs, the people who are putting money in the investors, they are anxious and they're responsible to them. So if they're not deploying the money fast, they're under pressure. If they're not returning the money fast, they're under pressure. And they're always looking out for that 100x, 1000x company. They're looking for the next Facebook, they're looking for the next Nvidia or Apple, or all these great companies. So maybe VCs are not the right person, because not every company has a potential to be a Apple or have a 1000x returns in 5 years or 100x returns in 5 years, right? You have to understand that. And this is nothing wrong with them or you, it's just that your business model or your market does not have the potential, or it's not the size that they're looking for. Okay, so VCs are looking for the entire world and they're looking for the world dominating companies. So I would suggest for most of the entrepreneurs or founders or startup owners to set aside the VCs for a very long time, right? And then there is another kind of investors, which are private equity offices, small family offices, friends and family, and angel investors, and in some cases, institutional investors also. So these are the early stage investing, as we call it, and it starts from the angel investing, which is your friend and family writing that $10,000 check in the initial days to you, to approximately $100,000, maybe a million, 2 million checks. These are Series A, B kind of rounds. So if your fundraise requirement is, let's say, up to a million or up to 5 million at stretch, then there are very different kind of people that you're looking for, or not even 5 million, I would say. You should be thinking of probably, let's say, a million or 2 million maximum. Now, the question that I suggest you go for is that you change your language of I'm looking for investor. Now, you're not looking for investor, you're looking for money, right? The moment you ask this question that I'm looking for money, the whole persona changes, because the next question you will be asking, who got the money? If I want money, who got my money? Who got my money? Who got my money? Who got my money? किसके जेब में मेरा पैसा है? And when you ask that question, that who has money in their pocket, uh, and you know that, okay, I'm looking like for probably $10,000, not that much. And if my total fundraise is, let's say, 1 CR Indian rupees, $10,000 about 8 lakh rupees, you need 10 investors. So can you find 10 people who have 8 to 10 lakh rupees investing capacity and have that much money available with them as a disposal income? Now that's a question that you have to ask yourself. And there are multiple amount of people nowadays who would be able to invest 8 to 10 lakh rupees out of their savings or disposal income. For example, there are vice presidents in MNCs and technology companies in Gurgaon, let's say, in Noida, let's say. And these are the people who are making about 20, 30 lakh rupees a year as a salary. And out of that, in a year, they investing about 8, 10 lakh rupees is not a big problem. Why I'm suggesting these people is as an investor for you is because A, they are tech savvy, they understand technology, and they are more advanced in terms of their understanding of how startups work and how they operate and the risk appetite. And this is modern generation, high risk, high return kind of people. And they are accessible, they are available on LinkedIn, for example. You can simply make a list of these people, send out to them messages, and get a call with them. Then the reason I suggest that you look out for these people as investors is that they're more likely to understand your business and your vision, and they're more likely to connect you with your potential customers and other people. Remember, an investor who comes on board is not only bringing money, the person should be able to bring the network, potential deals, potential customers, and a lot of network of his or her own. And this is a category of people. If you get in touch with them, let's say a vice president of some company in MNC, and if you're building a software which helps, let's say HR, a SaaS platform you're building, and this guy is a VP in sales, and if they become the investor in your company, they would be able to talk to the VP, the counterpart of HR in that company, and get you the backdoor entry or a meeting with the HR. So not only this person is going to come as an investor, but also is bringing 4, 5, 7 clients with you, and that's like icing on the cake. The another part that I should suggest that you bring in all those people is not take that $100,000 from one person and rather than split it in 7, 8 different investments, is because it's better to have 8 professionals on your board to be able to advise you and guide you in the right direction. Remember, they will get a very small equity because they're not putting a lot of money, so their decision making power also is not very strong with you. You remain in the control, and they come from different industries and different companies and different backgrounds, so their value for you as a startup will be tremendously high. And then when you put that into your presentation for the next round and you say, I'm the founder, this is co-founder, this is my team, and we have the investors and they are the advisors also, and you can make them your advisory board, and you can use their expertise and their network and their intellects, in fact, and their brand value to push you not only your business into the right direction, but also to position you in the market for the investors, and then get the investors into you. All right. So that's kind of a very interesting way of looking at it. And in a lot of cases, I've seen that you don't even need a lot of funding, right? Thanks to GPT and AI and a lot of digital, there's a lot that is available. If you're struggling with how to find investors, internet can connect you to literally everyone, right? And on top of that, if still you have a startup wherein you are at the moment stuck at a position or a stage wherein you think, I don't know if I should raise funding or not, and I don't know if how I should raise funding. I don't know people. I have a huge network of 300,000 people. Out of that, about the first degree connections is of course 30,000, and there are 23,000 of them are founders and CEOs of a lot of companies, and about 7 to 8,000 of them are investors. I would be very happy to make introductions. What you need to do is write me in my LinkedIn DM that this is what you're looking for, and I would be happy to get on a call with you. And if the product is good, probably I'll make introductions. And if this is something that I can involve myself, I would be very happy to do that also. So that's I think about it. At the end I would like you to talk about the things that I really had for the agenda, but I'm going to do that in the next sessions. So what are the legalities of the investors, right? How the negotiation works with the investors. When you actually prepare a pitch deck, what are the things that you should be using in your pitch deck and should not be using in your pitch deck? Should you be raising funding from India or from the US or from the Dubai? What are the industries that various economies or various countries are supporting? For example, if you're building in AI and crypto and Web3, Dubai is a very good market for you, or rather AI, even US is a very good market for you. Should you be physically shifting from India to somewhere else, or maybe build for India in India? That those are the questions which are extremely important and very critical for your business. And there's another question which is, should the SMEs go for IPO and raise funding through IPO medium. Are you ready for SME IPO? Maybe not a professional VC or investor, but rather an SME IPO. I know a lot of companies in the people who are watching me right now, they are running, maybe your company is an IPO, SME IPO material kind of company. I'm going to create another training, another session on all these topics. Again, in the meantime, we are running communities. Okay? We are running communities on B2B, business growth, and we are running communities on startups, entrepreneurship, technology. Join the communities, right? I'm going to share the lot of links, or probably I can share right now, or you can just reach out to me on LinkedIn. In these communities, there are a lot of people who are doing a lot of stuff, and you can ask for help, you can ask for funding, you can ask for network or teams or business and a lot of stuff. And there are a lot of events that I'm going to do right now. So joining these communities will make a lot of sense for you. In the end, I love when I share my knowledge and learning with the people, the word out there. I just hope this is being useful for you, and I hope we will continue doing this. If you have not subscribed to my YouTube channel, I strongly suggest and recommend that you do. Please do that. It would mean a lot, and it would be a lot of value addition for you. I'm creating courses and programs, and a lot of free stuff also, so that course will be published on there, and I'm going to see you again maybe on Friday. So every day, in fact, 9 o'clock, I'm trying to think. I'm trying to do a live session. So probably let's do tomorrow also, right? Okay. Munna Singh, Kuldeep Adhana, a lot of people. Sharad Junjunwala, thank you very much, Sharad ji. How are you? For a very long time, no talk, as they say. We haven't discussed, we haven't met. I hope you're doing great in your life. All right, it's time for me to end the conversation now. And do watch this whenever you come back later on. Subscribe on Sam Baisla official YouTube, and let me know your questions. I'll see you again tomorrow, 9 o'clock. 9 o'clock India time for my international auditions. Audience, thank you very much and have a good time. Bye bye.